Hello, Carmen Slam Diego here to tell you all about the people on the roller derby track. First of all, there are two teams on the track. You already know this. You already know about the jammers and the blockers and the pivots from each team because I know you watched my previous video on Module 1. However, each team can also have non-skating support staff who help us to be aware and to make better decisions. We have a bench coach who decides which 5 players will skate at any time, and this is called the lineup. And we also have a track coach who is watching the jammer and telling them whether to continue scoring points or to stop scoring points. We can also have other non-skating support staff as well. We also have 2 other very, very important groups of people who help to make roller derby possible. First, we have refs or referees. Refs sometimes refer to themselves as zebras in roller derby because they're wearing stripes. A sanctioned game will have between 3 and 7 referees. We must have a head ref who's in charge of all the other refs, and we must have 2 jammer refs. Each jammer ref is given a particular team to watch, and their sole responsibility is to count and report the number of points scored by that team, and to make sure also that the points are scored legally so there are no penalties. You can tell the jammer ref because they will have a band around their wrist in the color that matches the team. All of these people, the head ref and the jammer refs, typically live on the inside of the track. And there are also outside pack refs who live outside the track and they watch the pack or the group of skaters for penalties. The last group I want to talk today are NSOs or non-skating officials. So there are so many jobs that NSOs do, and when you watch any roller derby bout, you'll see NSOs typically wearing black. The overarching idea is that they keep track of the paperwork to free other people up to skate. Here are some of the NSO roles. First, you have penalty box timers. They track the length of each penalty, and they tell players when their time is up and they can go back into the game. In most instances, penalties are 30 seconds long, and the penalty clock stops in that 30 seconds between jams. Penalty box timers also do paperwork to count each player's penalties. The penalty box manager times penalties for jammers. They also keep track of which penalties haven't been served. Sometimes there are circumstances where a penalty can't be served right away, so the penalty box manager makes sure that those people eventually come back to serve their penalties. Penalty trackers provide a double check system for tallying penalties on each player. This is very important because after a player receives 7 penalties, they foul out of the game and will no longer be able to skate in that game. For really terrible, unsafe, egregious behavior, a player can also be expelled before they reach the 7 penalties. Lineup trackers keep track of which players have skated in each jam. Jam timer, just like it sounds, times each jam and the 30 seconds in between. In cases where a timeout is called, the jam timer also tracks the length of the timeout and stands in the middle of the track to signal the timeout with their bodies. Scorekeepers work with the jam ref to track and record how many points each jammer has scored, and they also keep some other stats on each jammer. Scoreboard operators maintain accurate records for the points and time recorded, and they broadcast it on the scoreboard so everybody can see. So if you are wanting to learn some rules and to be super helpful and to be active out on the track even before you start skating, we are always looking for NSOs at scrimmages and sometimes even at bouts. It's a fun way to be on the track, have a job, and get to watch roller derby for free.